Usually, yeah, avoidance, they cannot be.
No, but what I meant is like sometimes you get into a relationship and you have a trauma from a past relationship, and if you find a better guy and he has other traumas, you guys heal. Like I healed my relationship from my past relationship with this relationship. As an example, like
love is a choice.
My past relationship was very abusive. Very abusive narcissist, and then I chose to go a different route.
Of course he was.
Well, I chose to go different now with a nice.
Can I ask you, can I just ask you very briefly, 2 quick questions?
Yeah.
Was this guy actually diagnosed as a narcissist, or did you diagnose him as a narcissist? The truth.
You're telling me I'm the narcissist here?
No, the truth. The truth. Was he actually diagnosed
He was
clinically
not actually
as a narcissist?
diagnosed.
Hang on. Let me finish the question. Was he actually diagnosed by a team of medical professionals for narcissism, or did you diagnose him as being a narcissist?
I realized at the end of the relationship that he was a narcissist, and there was no diagnose.
Okay, so you diagnosed him as being a narcissist. But now, I just want to point out that narcissism is extraordinarily rare. It's an actual rare antisocial mental illness. It's not common at all. And yet, for some reason, every woman must be dating the same exact guy because all of them have dated narcissists, which is amazing to me that there's enough narcissists to go around, considering how few of them there are. So I'm led to conclude either one of 2 things. Either A, there are about 4,000 to 5,000 narcissists who fuck every woman in the United States, or the amount of women who believe that they have dated a narcissist based on their own self-diagnosis, which is garbage. You have no business diagnosing anybody with anything ever, is overwhelming because you all think you're psychologists. So which one do you think it is? Like, which one do you think is more likely? That just a few thousand men fuck every chick in the United States, or maybe women overdiagnose how many men are narcissists?
I think the word narcissism and narcissist is such a buzzword on social media, and I believe it gained popularity probably 5 years ago with all these women saying my ex is a narcissist, which really I feel like on social and TikTok and stuff that really is code word for selfish. Yeah, it's slang for selfish. I mean, you're right. They shouldn't be saying that because NPD is a serious disorder. So absolutely, I think it's just become slang.
It's a serious antisocial disorder, right? It's a significant problem if somebody actually has it. Imagine being branded by a woman as having an antisocial disorder because she just doesn't fucking like you, right? No diagnosis. There was no team of doctors that came in. There was no bill of medical professionals that spent months evaluating your social behaviors to make these determinations. Instead, your ex-girlfriend just decided to put out on social media one day, oh, by the way, he's a narcissist, you bastard, and you should have seen it there. He didn't pay for my dinner on Friday, and then he told me I look fat in this dress, this son of a... Right? That's what happens. No team of this. So that's why I asked this question. So can I ask you,
well, I didn't say anything about paying dinner.
Go ahead.
It's more deeper than that.
So why don't we go into it? You said he was abusive. How did he abuse you?
He was screaming. He was throwing things at me. He was punching the wall next to me. Out of the blue, we're just sitting at the couch, and he would just start screaming and throwing the remote control.
I can vouch. I met him. He is a real dick, and he's definitely, I would say, abusive. But I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not going to diagnose him. And for sure, I just think it's a buzzword. But he definitely sucked, and he was toxic at the very least.
Yeah, let's say
I witnessed it. I witnessed his shitty behavior.
I shouldn't have said narcissist. I should have just said toxic. I think that it's a better word to describe it. So I'm not a doctor, so I can't say.
Yes, we are trying our hardest here at the Whatever Podcast to stop the wild allegations of narcissism. Not every man you dated is a narcissist because he didn't kiss your ass, I promise you. It's not the case. So I just wanted to point that out. I do feel bad for that remote control. I'm sorry that he beat up your remote control. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry that happened to you. It'd be very scary when people beat up the remote control in front of you. I understand that.
I mean, we can't make light of a woman that's feels that she was emotionally abused. I mean, that's a little too far.
I think we can make light of it, right? Why can't we make light of it? Especially if you think, especially when you're talking about trauma time. You know, I never heard any fucking buddy ever talk about trauma until I started going on these different shows with various women. And you know why they do it? because it's a psychological term. They love psychology. I don't know why women are so drawn to psychology, like little machinations, manipulations. They think that it's going to help them manipulate their environment and people better. That's why they're drawn to psychology.
So you're
But
saying that
when
all
you talk
women
about
manipulate,
trauma, hang on,
not men.
hang on. I'm going to explain.
Men
Let me
are
explain the
master
position.
You sound angry at women. Like,
You know, you're letting me explain the position, right? Very narcissistic of you. So anyway, the position is just this, that when you're talking about trauma, how much trauma you have, all my trauma, what about my trauma? Just try to remember this, that everything is fucking traumatic. Doesn't matter what it is. Walking out of the room could be traumatic. Everything is traumatic. And what women often do is they take in the moment how I felt, and then they externalize it on the person next to them as though that means it's true. Like, so for instance, a guy punches a wall. So fucking what? Right? Oh, but think about how it made me
Men
feel.
are supposed to protect
think
women,
about
not
how
make
it
them
made me
feel
feel. And it's
scared.
like, well, think about how it made his poor hand feel.
That's
Well, clearly, he is not protecting me
threat,
where
that's
he
a
should
threat.
have.
That's basically a threat.
Yeah, that's like
yeah,
threatening. like,
that's inciting fear in her. Like, I mean, if you look up DV, domestic violence, like that's in there, punching things. Like, I mean,
No,
you
I know
can't
that
just
you-
say that's
First
not a
you-
big deal. Sorry.
First is the wall, and then it's gonna be my face.
Mental abuse.
So I'd rather
Bad.
leave before my face gets touched.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, but did your face get touched? No,
Because I
right?
fucking left. Sorry for my fucking.
But what I'm saying is that oftentimes what happens is people will take how they feel and map it on as though it's the reality of a situation. It's also possible that this guy punched a hole in his wall and would never have touched you for all I know, right? So the
Do
thing
you
is,
punch holes in your wall with your wife there?
no, I don't.
Okay,
Why would
so
I
that's
punch a
not
hole in
right.
the wall? But if a dude, you know what I have done though? I'll
Do
tell
you
you what
think
I've
men
done.
are
You
supposed
ready
to
for this?
protect
You
women
ready for this?
or not?
One time I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and this fucker was spawn camping me, and he spawn camped me for hours, and I could not get out of the spot. And I finally got so frustrated, I threw the controller down on the ground, and my wife went, "What's wrong?" And I went, "Fuck!"
Yeah, but it
Did
wasn't.
I-
Yeah, you're not
It
arguing with her.
wasn't
That's
towards
separate of
her.
her. That has
Would
nothing
you
to
do
do
that
with
in front
her.
of your
In fear for the
newborn
moral life. You know what I
baby?
mean? It's like, come on.
I think she's talking about in an argument,
In
in a
an
verbal
argument.
yelling argument.
Towards me, it wasn't towards someone else. Like,
Would you
I can
yell at a
understand when
baby?
somebody.
You weren't like throwing a
Screams for
controller at a
somebody
video
else.
game. This is directed at her
I'm
in an
shocked that you
argument.
feel this way,
Women
right?
It wasn't about a
But
feeling.
what is actionable is different than how you feel. That's what I'm trying to
But it
to
wasn't
say
about a
here.
feeling. It was an occurrence that happened
He
all
did
the
it to
time.
scare her,
Question
plain and simple. He did it to
emotionally.
scare her.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
what's the evidence that he did it to scare her other than she says so?
Dude, I mean, why else would a guy punch a wall in an argument?
Yeah.
It's not normal behavior.
Just say it.
Like, he didn't have
Is yelling in an argument normal behavior?
Argument is a normal behavior, which is not a
Yeah.
normal behavior when it becomes
Arguing is not
abusive
real.
to a point where
They
you
just-
can't do anything and you have to run away from
It's
the
called
apartment.
communicating. It's called debating.
So there's a couple of things. So number one, if this
should
guy
never
is
be looked
actually
at as
sick,
arguing.
like sick mentally, why did you choose him? Something inside of you helped you to made you to choose this guy. If this guy is not mentally sick, but he got fed up with all the arguments, with all of the negativity, with drama and everything, then he lost his cool. So it's one or the other. So it's either poor choices because maybe he is sick, right? Or other is that the woman is capable to either build something beautiful out of man or destroy him. And it is woman's power. And the way Andrew is, he's not attacking. You want it, this is masculine. This is masculine. The man who stands for, believes in the relationship, his great dad, his great husband, this is masculine. It's not an attack.
Men are protectors. The protectors.
Well,
not-
but the thing is like,
Right.
if you didn't become so enraged and emotional and you would just listen to what I'm saying, you'd understand the position, right? That's what she's saying here, and she's right. All I'm saying is that projecting how you feel in a moment, in an exact moment, especially when you're heightened, your adrenaline's pumping, you're upset, you can have perceptions of a situation when it's not clear that that actually was what the situation is. It just comes down to, but I felt like that. Did he do anything to you? No, but I felt like he might. Did he actually? I felt like he might have, though. These things, right, they're really kind of up in the air and there for interpretation. And so before I besmirch men as being abusive or narcissistic or any of these things, I like to see something ever get past the allegation point into the proof point, and that's the point where I get very, very little, right? And so I think that that's reasonable. I think it's logical. I think that people should engage in that more, but they don't. Instead, they just kind of map things onto how I felt in the moment, and then that makes how they felt truth when it may not actually be true.
All your thoughts are true. That's what I'm gonna say.
Can I
All
ask
your
you
thoughts-
something?
Hang on. Is that thought true?
All your thoughts are. Where do your thoughts come from? Where do they come from? Can you tell me where your thoughts come from?
From your brain?
But where? What part of your brain?
I don't know the exact part, but they come from your brain.
Where'd your brain come from?
We just want to explain that it's first red
Well,
flag.
I don't understand. If you think all thoughts are true,
Yeah.
Yes.
can you,
I
th-
just
can you
said-
think
that's
can you
what I
think a
just
lie?
said. What?
Can you think a lie?
What do you mean?
Can you think of a
Is it true that you can think up a lie?
I don't lie.
Is it? How would you feel if you
Why
didn't
are we
eat
in a
breakfast this morning?
philosophical conversation now? It's so off topic.
Anyway, whatever. I guess it's a side tangent. It doesn't really matter.
Can I ask you something?
Anyway, so the point is, though, is all I'm saying is that mapping how you feel onto a thing doesn't make it true. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't mean that that was the truth of the situation.
I'll disagree, but
Well, you can't disagree with that, right? You can disagree that in that situation I'm wrong, sure, but you can't disagree
can
that
control your
just
thoughts, you can
mapping a
control your
feeling
life.
onto a situation
Fine, whatever,
doesn't mean that the truth of the matter is that is how the situation was.
I am taking responsibility for my choices. I just, it was actually a trauma that I had that I fixed it with a different boyfriend and went haywire. So
Yeah, no, I understand, but let me try again. Let me try it this way. If my daughter comes out and she says, "Dad, I feel like there's a monster under the bed," and I go in a room and I look under the bed and there's no fucking monster under the bed, right? Is the truth of the matter that there is actually a monster under the bed because she feels like there is one?
But if your daughter came to
Hang
you
on.
and she's
Don't-
16 and she
don't.
said, "Hey,
What
a guy
about-
hit the
Are you
wall
gonna
next to my
gaslight your
face,"
child into feeling like they're
would you not be
liars?
upset about
it's a lot
that?
of gaslighting.
Hang on. Answer the question, then ask a question.
But this isn't
my
imaginary.
If my daughter looked under her bed, I went and
That's
looked
the
under her
root.
bed, there's no monster there. I showed her there's no monster there. How she feels.
She's not talking
is the
about an
truth.
imaginary circumstance, though.
Is it possible for you to engage with the actual question and then ask yours? So, is how she feels the truth of the matter?
Lying is the root of all trauma.
Can
Lying
you
is
answer my question?
Literally.
Can you actually answer the question?
Who
Is
are
that
you
even
talking to,
possible?
Alina or
Yeah,
me?
who are you talking to?
I'm talking to, this would be Laura. So, Laura, the question is, would the truth of the matter be that there was a monster under the bed, even if she felt like there was one?
No, there's no monster, but you're comparing this to actual domestic violence, which I don't really love. So that's where
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but
I don't feel
actually
that way.
understand
Look
what
up the definition
I don't
of
actually
domestic
understand what
violence.
The problem is with the comparison of feeling to feeling if we're judging whether the truth of the matter is the truth of the matter.
But this wasn't an imaginary boyfriend, like an imaginary monster. Like you're comparing two things that are not the same.
Yeah.
No, I'm
That's
comparing
like
feelings.
asking somebody
No,
if that
There's
were
no
not-
feeling.
is
It's
that-
not a feeling.
It's not
Is
a
that
feeling.
blue or
You're
is that
you're-
green? I could say that's red.
It is a
if I really
feeling.
wanted to.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It's a feeling, right? If you punch a wall, you can't tell me that you can determine intent based off of somebody punching a wall. You can't determine that. You can only feel a certain way about it. That's it.
But if the person
but
is
your
punching the
feelings
walls
matter.
and
I just think you're minimizing
he would be
DV, and if you
punching
look
the
up the
walls on the
definition,
first
like
date
it's
and the
there.
second date and right from the start he would be if he was
What are we
mentally
talking
sick, right?
Just so you understand, when you're talking about definitions, people can define a thing however they choose to define a thing, right? As long as it's coherent, makes sense, and it's indicative of the thing which it's pointing at, that's totally fine. So, as far as the definition goes, I don't see any actual problem.
I see what
with
you're
having
saying. I
given
just
a
feel like you're
definition.
excusing his behavior, which I don't
I'm not
love.
excusing.
I just feel like by arguing about it this much, you're
This
excusing
is
the behavior and
phenomenal.
saying it's okay, even though you wouldn't do it to your wife,
It's
and even though
phenomenal.
your daughter,
When did you feel
if a
it's
guy
okay?
did this to her, you wouldn't love it. So
Yeah,
I just
so
feel like you're
why are
excusing it.
Why are you lying and saying I said it was okay? When did I ever
I
say
don't
that?
think he
You're
ever
not
said
saying it's
that.
okay,
I
but
really
fighting
don't
about
think
it
he
this
said that.
much, it just
Those
seems
Those
like
words
you're
did not
excusing
come out of
it.
his mouth specifically.
No, I literally
gotta let him
never
Unless they
said
did,
anything
he's
was
not
okay.
lying.
What I said was I gave an argument for how you can map feelings onto a situational reality where the feelings don't mean that is the truth of the matter. Instead of contending with what I said, you interjected your feelings and then made up shit I didn't even say because of how my words made you fucking feel.
I agree.
I just think by making all these comparisons, it seems like you're condoning it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's an opinion.
That's an accusation,
Well,
not an
okay,
opinion.
well, it seems like you
accusation, it's an
condone
opinion.
essay. By the way that you talk, you condone
on air,
essay.
too. That's crazy.
Because I feel that way. I just feel like you're the type of person who
On
condones
live
essay. I feel like it.
Live broadcast is crazy.
Right?
SA?
Yeah.
What's SA?
Well, I
Sexual
can't say the
assault.
word, but.
Do you not know what that is?
Term here, words.
Yeah, I just feel like that. I feel like you're the type of person who does, because I feel that way. Who needs proof, right? We can just make whatever allegations we want just based on how we fucking feel, right?
There will be physical proof.
In my opinion, behind every action, there is something deeper that actually motivating that action. So I'll give you an example from my personal life, between me and my husband. I call it pizza example. He got really, really mad because pizza was not done correctly. You know what was before that? I wanted to make pizza and lay in the pepperoni in a certain way to make it really perfect. He wanted the pepperoni to be laid in one level, right? So he got mad that I haven't done it. But what is not understood, I mean, you can interpret his reaction by that he is an asshole, that he got mad, but in reality what happened, you gotta look in the past. His mom was pushing the food on him that he absolutely didn't like. It triggered a certain emotion. I had a critical parent who things were not good enough. So I tried to overcompensate where he felt like he was not hurt. So is it about pizza? It's not.
Right.
It's
right.
all
So-
of the stuff that is
So
underneath.
this is a good example. You're saying, okay, so now feelings are involved and other things are going on in the material world which are backed by the feelings that we can look at. But it's up to interpretation here, right? There's a lot of interpretation which goes into the feeling. And so that's all I'm trying to say is that, when you say things like you're mitigating DV, right? Or you're trying to somehow make it seem like it's not as bad as it is. Quite the opposite. What I'm doing is adhering to a standard for how we can even judge these things coherently without slander and accusation and innuendo and backbiting and front stabbing and all that shit. Rather, some type of appeal to a standard which is unerring and doesn't change. Something that would be backed by evidence and not feelings. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I couldn't have said so smart as you are. You're using so many fancy words.
It's okay. We got the memo.
All right, where were we?
Next question.
Moving on.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Oh, yeah, Kylie, you did have something. Go ahead.
Oh, I did. So is he still listening?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're downplaying
Just let-
her abusive relationship because what? He punches near her, he throws stuff near her, but he doesn't actually hit her. So if a kid were to come to a school with a gun and someone
What?
saw it, but he doesn't, how do you know if he's going to shoot anyone? He just has it.
Well, so I'll
doesn't that
answer
raise
this
He
the
thought
question,
that
right?
counts. He thought about it. So what makes you
Yeah,
think
so,
that he's not
so I'll
going to do
answer.
it?
Okay, I'll answer the question as it's actually presented. So if you're talking about this, you couldn't determine 100% what his motivations would be, right? You would have to err on the side of caution and the trends in the past, which if somebody brings this said object to school, usually the intention is nefarious. Though it does not mean in this particular instance it was, we would assume that it was, and we would act accordingly, especially since the school says that you can't have the gun there, et cetera, for good reason. So you would base this along patterns, you'd base it along the law, you'd base it along the actual action, right? When you're talking about DV, it's going to be the exact same thing. It's not just up to interpretation, it's up to action. So I can think of many situations where a man could get frustrated and throw something and meant no harm to anybody, or punch a wall out of frustration and meant no harm to anybody. The interpretation which comes in, the feelings-based interpretation, you may not like that, but it's very difficult for us to always map on motive if we don't have better context than just one time he hit a wall next to me, right?
No, but she had mentioned that he was throwing things at her. So why would she not think that she could be next? Like,
Well, we're
That's a
not
good
very
sign.
clear on the exact situation, are we, right? We don't know what the sequence of events was. Did he throw things at her before he punched the wall?
She
Like, we
didn't
don't
say
really
he threw
know any
things
of
at her.
this.
She just said he threw things.
But ultimately,
across the room.
just to
Is that
kind of
how he-
grant this,
Yeah, I did say
he
that.
did
just
throw
just
things
to
at her.
just to
all
grant all of
recorded,
this,
guys.
right? I'm just going to grant
I
all
can
of it.
replay it
That
for
he's
you
thrown
guys
things
if you
at
guys
her.
would like.
I'll even
Joe,
grant.
Stop. Go, Andrew, go
I'll-
ahead.
Yeah.
No, go, Andrew. You go ahead. Just
I was just saying, I
gotta
can
let
just
him
I can
talk.
just grant all of this as being true. It doesn't matter. My statement that your feelings are interpretive is not ever going to change. Your feelings are totally interpretive, and just because you feel like something is true, it doesn't make it true. It's interpretive. There's no changing that, but what I see women always do is say, how I feel is valid, and it's not open to interpretation. How I feel is true. And it's like, no, that's not the truth of the matter just because you feel that way. That's my point.
I disagree. I fully disagree with that.
How you
What do you
feel
mean?
is truth.
What he just said.
Yeah.
what,
Like
what
what your thoughts are
specifically?
all like they don't just come out of nowhere. Like everything you think is actually like really happening. That's what's I have to say about that. That goes back to what I said earlier, but it's fine. It's exactly.
I don't know,
what
if
I
a guy
said
had the
earlier.
intent of keeping or wanting his girlfriend to feel safe, why would he be aggressive around her and throw things at her or punch walls next to her?
Well, I'm not so sure that the intention in that particular case would be that he's trying to make her feel safe. I don't think that the entirety of a man's existence is tailored around making women feel fucking safe. I don't think that that's what they do 24 hours a day, is worry all day long about making you fucking feel safe.
That's what you
I
guys are
think
supposed
that
to do.
I think that you feeling safe, right, and that itself is open to interpretation, right? Because again, it's a feeling. You could feel unsafe in a situation that you're totally safe in, right?
This is why the marriage problem.
But I asked Alina if the guy was
now,
acting
can
like
I get
this.
an answer, but wait, real quick? Can I get an answer to my question?
Oh, it was a question.
You
sorry.
could be in a situation, correct, where you feel totally unsafe, where the truth of the matter is that you're totally safe.
No.
No? What?
No, you could.
So you couldn't be, for instance, getting prepped for, like, I don't know, a medical procedure or something like this, and you could feel unsafe, right? Even though, let's say it has like a 100% success rate, you could feel unsafe. But the truth of the matter is you would be unsafe because you felt unsafe.
You always have the risk.
Okay,
It's
so
always a risk.
so by that metric, then, shouldn't everybody just always feel unsafe at all times because at all times a bad thing could happen?
No.
Well, okay, well then I don't understand how it could be possible that you couldn't be in situations where you could just feel unsafe even though you weren't unsafe. I don't really understand that.
I think sometimes the intuition plays a role. So if you feel unsafe, maybe something is wrong.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe's the key word here, right? Maybe's doing a lot of heavy lifting here. Sure, maybe. But is it the case that it's always true that because you feel unsafe, you are unsafe?
What's making you feel unsafe though? Like
You had a bad
my
fucking
question.
dream. You had a bad dream and you woke up and you're scared, right? Because in the
What does
dream
that
there was
mean?
a
What do
crazy,
bad
there was a
dreams- what do
crazy
bad- where do bad
chainsaw
dreams
wielding
come from?
clown. Let me
Where do they
finish.
come
Let me finish, and I'll let you respond. Right? In your dream, a crazy chainsaw clown was chasing you down the street, right? And you woke up and you went, and you were feeling really unsafe. Were you actually unsafe? Were you actually unsafe?
I feel like your example is a little off.
The answer to the
might be-
question.
Can I give an example?
Were you
Answer the
not
question.
unsafe? Like,
Can
what?
you answer? Please answer. Were you actually unsafe?
No.
Because you feel no. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Just tell him what he wants to hear.
And now you can ask
From now
whatever
on,
you
I'll
want.
tell
and
you what
I'll
I
do-
want-
I'll
what you
actually
wanna
answer
hear.
you.
I'll submit to you, master.
No, I'm saying I'll actually answer your questions. I would just like if you actually answered mine.
You're comparing with real person, man, and then unreal situation. It's
Well, they're both real.
really different.
It's just one's very like physical and one's like
physical man.
physical.
Yeah, the man.
Exactly.
I think he's just saying what you feel is a personal experience might not actually be a reality.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do I send money down so that you can go get a drink after this on me? Because I don't know why you're the only human being on that panel who fucking understood a word I just said, but you are. So
Has
I
anyone
appreciate that.
Andrew, question for you: if someday your daughter can come and say, like, I feel unsafe with my boyfriend, husband, whatever, because he punched the wall, what are you gonna do?
I would take all the facts into consideration, including how she felt about it, and I would give an interpretation. I would give an interpretation based on all of the facts which were around me to the best of my possible ability. That's what I would do. But what I would not assume ever was that instantly based on a feeling that was the truth of the matter. So I would always subject everything to reason first if I could, right? Now, I'm not perfect, I'm imperfect, and I have feelings as well. Could be driven by feelings to do irrational things. I'm in no way the perfect form, as it were, just pure human logic walking around in a skin suit. But I still do think you should temper reason to feelings. That's all I was saying. So here I was making the same exact point that if you're so willing to just come out and say somebody else is a narcissist, that's all interpretative of your feelings, how I felt. I feel like he was a narcissist, therefore he was a narcissist, right? Well, no, actually, that's not true. That's bullshit, right? That's just made up tripe. And so that's what led into the idea of whether or not you could have feelings which don't map onto reality.
Are women always wrong?
No.
Are women never right?
Women
No,
tend to
of course
jump
not.
to the conclusions, and men are.
You're always wrong, but women, no.
Men are
Me?
Of course
rational.
not.
They're
Just
able
you-
to understand and get the logic. Women,
What?
we make our decision
I don't
based
know
on
what you just
emotions.
said.
Yes. So that's the difference between men and
I don't.
women. If we
I
would
don't
be
do
able
that.
to see the situation
Think
actually.
like a man. That's one advice that I give to all you ladies here.
So like I asked Alina.
Don't be a man. Think like a man, and then you'll find a husband.
Well, think like a man, listen to a man,
Talking a 21-year-old.
support a man, discuss things with a man, but
Men
absolutely
don't care about your
respect a man.
emotions.
Number one,
They don't care about
respect
your
a man.
emotions. They just care about what you look like. I'm just being
The men-
completely
That
honest.
is
For
that
now,
is the
for
man
you.
who not looking for the family or intimacy or connection. They care about what you look like, so they can use
But
you
that's it.
temporary without any commitment. But men are designed by Mother Nature as well to connect with the physical attributes.
Men are predators. They're not like they will eat anything they see. Like that's just how they work. They don't care what it looks like. They'll eat anything. That's just how they work. It's nature.
We
It's
cannot
nature.
hear Andrew.
It's natural. That's
Wait, I'm super confused. Women do the exact same thing, right? So, especially in countries where there's
We
very
can just
little food,
control
women
it
eat
better.
everything
We
that's
can
not nailed
control
down.
it
Women are
better.
also predatory. Women
can
also hunt
control
and
it.
pack.
We can control
Hang on,
it,
hang on,
though.
Let me finish. Let
we
me
have
finish.
more
Women
self-control
also-
than men.
Women also hunt in packs. Women are also
are-
predatory. Women also eat meat. They eat all the same things that men eat.
But-
They do all those same types of things. What are you talking about? When you say,
Scientifically, women are
now I
smarter
agree
than
with you
men.
that on this, men are the
Scientifically
apex
proven.
predator. That's true. They're the apex predator. Men are. I agree with that.
See?
But to say that men are predatory and women are not predatory is insanity.
But you know, when we were going back, I'm trying to make my point. When I asked Alina, when she started dating this guy, was he punching the walls on right and left? She said no. So apparently his behavior had changed through the time that they were dating. So then you gotta get a little bit deeper and understand why his behavior had changed. Was it triggered? Maybe he was not heard. Maybe he was not respected. Maybe he had to show that he is a freaking man by doing the stupid stuff like that. But if we women, I don't know you, Alina, yeah, but I just know from my experience that if women would show respect to men, if we would hear them, if we would be able to validate them, show gratitude, their behavior is going to be completely different. They would not be punching the walls. I'm not talking about the crazy ones. Certainly there is crazy category out there as well.
Are you saying that it's okay for men to punch a wall in the
It is-
presence of a woman or
Are
a
you saying
child?
it is okay for women to disrespect men?
What?
Is it okay
Answer my
for-
question. I asked you a question.
Yeah, women, they able to motivate inadequate actions in men by showing them disrespect, by not showing them gratitude, by not showing them validation that we actually validate and appreciate and recognize him. So we are able to trigger those type of reactions. And again, I'm not talking about psycho and crazy ones, okay? But I'm talking about that you can get men completely messed
Women
up
are
mentally.
just as capable as abusing men as men are capable of abusing women. That's what I think.
Your
So
opinion is all over. the
Mentally,
place.
I'm talking about mentally, not physically.
All over
Physically,
So
men are
if-
stronger than women, but mentally,
no,
women
men
are
are
stronger
able
than women.
to cover up their feelings
I can't
inside.
believe we're
They
still
want
talking
the
about this.
feelings, but it is hard for them to reach out for those feelings. If we would be able to inspire in men to open up their feelings, then that's where the actually fulfilling relationships would be happening. But we are able to inspire absolutely the most amazing things in our men. We are. This is our power as a women. But if we are punching them,
Do you think
things
men
are not
smarter?
good enough.
Do you think
not-
men are smarter than women?
I have what is the 18-year-old smarter than 19-year-old? Is the 16-year-old? I mean, you cannot generalize. Is the Eastern European smarter than Americans or Asians are smarter than? You cannot generalize. It is not about smarter. Women typically they have better intuition than men. Women. And men actually would be
Wait, do
looking
they?
for our advice. They would be looking for our advice. Men who are married and respect their wives, they come and they. It is not like Andrew. Do you come to your wife and discuss with her some things, or you are like, this is my way and that's it?
It depends on the situation, but yeah, we have discussions.
There you go. So even a guy
What?
as masculine and opinionated
That's
as he is,
confidence. That's confiding.
he is talking to his wife.
That's called
He is asking
confiding.
for her
That's
opinion as well
confidence.
because he respects her.
That
But
is
he-
confidence. That's called confidence.
Confidence. What is confidence, Brian?
To confide, I mean, to speak with, essentially.
Discussion?
To have a discussion, yeah.
To have
Not
a
just
discussion.
any discussion, like emotional and deep and yeah.
Discussion. Okay. Discussion. Yeah, but they're a team. You see, they're a team.
That's what
It is not about his wife is going against him or showing disrespect or whatever, but he's showing respect back to her as well.
What
So,
are you
but-
referring to?
But we women, we are able to inspire and motivate men to do either crazy stuff or great stuff. But it is our choice what we want, who we want them to be.